financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by Thav Gross. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is when disabled, you need the disability plan organized with debt elimination. Good morning, Brian Small.
Good morning, Ken. A pleasure.
Jeffrey Kirschner.
Good morning,
Heady
Ken.
topic for you today.
I don't know if I'm a heady guy, but I'm ready.
Kelsey Simasko.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. So, disability. I popped into the World Wide Web, as we used to call it that.
www.
Just to see what's new in disability. And this is, I got a couple of blurbs. They weren't that current. It was October 25. Recent developments in Social Security law show a tighter path to winning a claim.
Truth.
Initial claims dropping approval rates from nearly 39 to 36%. What are your thoughts?
Truth.
True? Is it just, does it really matter? Because you've always kind of told us expect that first claim, initial claim, to be denied anyway unless it's an absolute home run.
So, if you want a minute, I can kind of explain.
No, I don't want any explanations. So let's move on to the next one. Yes.
Okay.
please.
It makes for a much shorter show if we just stop talking. But
Better
Explain.
commercials, too.
Yes.
So, you go ahead and you apply. You wait anywhere from 2 to 6 to 8, even a year for your initial application. They don't approve a lot of people when you initially apply, even though you insist you're disabled and your doctor says you're disabled. They disapprove more people than they pay. So, you get a denial. You get a love letter saying, sorry, we think you could still do other things. Then you have to appeal that. You appeal by asking for what's called reconsideration. People make the mistake right away by saying, well, they denied me, I'll apply again. Either I'm done, which they bank on, or the second thing is people say, well, I got denied, I'm just going to start the process over again, which is a huge mistake. So
You're foregoing the benefits you would have gotten, right?
So that's a whole other discussion, is that when you apply, if it's for Social Security disability, the law allows you to recapture a maximum of up to 1 year of benefits prior to the date that you apply for Social Security disability. For supplemental security income, you're only entitled to benefits from the date you start your initial application going forward. There's no benefits back. So whether it be SSD, SSI, or a combination of the two, the earlier you apply, the better, and keeping your application alive is critical. So they deny you at the initial stage. Then there's another stage. You have to appeal within 60 days. It's called reconsideration. You ask them to take a look at it again, get more medical. You have to go through this step. That stage, they only are approving statistically about 11% of people at this intermediary stage. But again, you have to go through it. You have to keep your application alive. And that, again, can take 2 months, can take 8 months, 10 months to be on reconsideration, although it's starting to shrink a little bit in terms of time-wise. If you get denied there, which most people do, 10 to 11% get denied, then you ask for a hearing. You have another 60 days to ask for a hearing with an administrative law judge. That's when people are seeing a lot more success, but still not great. And you have a hearing eventually with the judge.
What percentage of people, if you know, try to do this without an attorney?
A ton. So many people, and I hear it all the time, even when people consult me.
I see that as being the reason for a much greater percentage of denials. To me, it's impossible to do this.
So for a lot of reasons. People, first of all, think, well, I can do this on my own. Easy, no problem. I don't need an attorney or anyone else.
I'm just filling out a form.
I can just use these forms, and even if I go to the hearing, the judge will believe me. I'm very sympathetic. I've got great medical. How can he not believe me? So that is the biggest reason. Number two is people think they're being smart and want to save money. Even though my fee, I only charge a fee if I get money for you, my fee is just a percentage of what I get for you. They want all that money for themselves. So they think, I'll save that fee.
Yes, but 0 times 0.
It's still zero.
It's still 0.
Math doesn't change.
Nope.
Yeah,
Yes.
but the best is when they say, I can do it by myself, and then they call you once a week to ask you a million questions and not pay you for it because they're doing it by themselves.
Exactly. They just need a little advice. So I see that all the time with people. And and having discussions with judges. You can do it on your own, and people have been successful being in pro per doing it on their own, but you ask any administrative law judge, and they'll tell you that they approve far more cases that have an attorney, that the case is prepared, that the medical is prepared, that everything else is
even the ALJ, the administrative law judge, wants things done in an orderly fashion so he or she can review the case and make a determination. When you're doing it on your own, you're not going to package it the way they're accustomed to seeing it, and that makes more work for them. It slows down their docket of getting through their cases and makes them less inclined to approve. But the big thing is, it's kind of, go back to ChatGPT. Garbage in is garbage out. ChatGPT is a wonderful tool if you are able to frame the questions the correct way. When it comes to like a Social Security disability
Yes, but it will
claim,
happily give you the wrong answer too.
yeah,
on a regular basis.
Absolutely. Well, the analogy and the corollary to that, if you're trying to do a disability claim on your own, is you can think you're filling out the forms correctly, and then you submit them, and it turns out to be a denial because you don't know what the right way of saying something is unless you're experienced in doing it. Another example is an insurance claim. I sometimes have an insurance claim, but I'll tell you, I don't submit my insurance claim until I first pull out the insurance policy and read it to see what issues there are so that when I give the facts, I'm making them match to the policy as best as possible. Most people don't do that. They just give the claim, and then the insurance company comes back with a denial because it says, well, you didn't fit the, what do you always say? You didn't put the squares in the right boxes,
I'll give you one example further, like for home claims, is if I ever have a claim, I have my contractor deal more with the insurance carrier than myself because they know exactly what to say and how to handle it.
Absolutely. Let's take a break. We'll come right back to disability and other current events.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
So we only have one last question for you. If your son passes away before you, do you want his share to go to his kids or your new daughter-in-law?
Talk about inheritance. Yeah, sweetie, and I'm gonna spend it all on you.
The kids.
You've worked hard your whole life to create a lasting legacy for your heirs. Let Simasko Law help you make the right decisions to protect the ones you love. Simasko Law, protecting what means most, because that's what we do.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, we're back. So Brian did some research during the break. What? Give us your findings.
Well, studies have found that at the hearing before an ALJ, if you're represented by an attorney, you're likely to be approved up to 70% of the time. If you don't have an attorney, you're likely to only be approved about 40% of the time.
There's a big differential. To me, I'm a believer that if I need something done, I hire a professional that knows what it is and how to do it. I don't try and invent the wheel and do it myself. When it's if it's a fun thing, like if you want to be Tom Sawyer and paint the fence outside of your house, go at it. If it doesn't work, you can hire a painter
Kelsey's
after.
looking at you like, going, what?
What
Did you read Tom Sawyer?
No, I read Tom Sawyer. I'm thinking, who in their right mind thinks painting a fence is fun?
I'm not one of those that would, but there was a time that I would have, I think in my 30s I would have tried to paint the fence. I once painted the house inside. Boy, does that hurt your neck.
Hurt your neck.
I look at it now and say,
once.
But this is how important it
Painter.
is. By being successful, I can get your back payments. And my fee is just 25% of your back payments with a cap of $9,200. That's the same fee every attorney in the country charges. And I do my practice throughout the country. And then ongoing benefits, if I get your ongoing benefits, I don't get a piece of that. All goes to you. And if I lose, it's nothing. I get people.
It's a no-brainer.
So much money, $30,000 to $60,000 on average in terms of back benefits to you, and then ongoing $2,000 to $3,000
versus
month for lifetime until it converts to your retirement.
Imagine, think about this in terms of you have a 30% chance of you're 30% less likely to succeed on your own, and than with an attorney. I mean,
and the
30%,
big dollars
that's
are
a
on the
huge.
The
it's
big
not like
dollars
it's a
are on the
1%
future
difference.
payments, and those come to you without there's no attorney fee that attaches to them.
Correct. Imagine getting $2,500 a month lifetime until you hit retirement age.
Yeah. It's a situation where the benefit is necessary and they've been injured. So a lot of times when you apply and you try and do it on your own and you're denied and then you give up, it's not that you weren't entitled to the benefit, and certainly you needed the benefit, but you've lost the benefit by not having gone about it the right way.
Does
It doesn't
having
make
an
sense to do
attorney
that.
actually expedite the process in any way versus a pro per versus somebody who's doing it on their own?
I don't know because I've never done this, not being an attorney, so I don't know. The answer is, my guess is probably not. My guess is it probably is the same timeline, whether you have an attorney or not. They look at a case, it gets through the same process. So I don't think that they flag a case as, this is an attorney, let's expedite it. So I think it makes if you do it on your own, it's going to be the same as if you have an
But you still
attorney.
have a 30% chance, 30% less of a chance to get it approved.
And that was just at the hearing stage, let alone at the reconsideration, let alone doing everything appropriate at the initial stage, let alone getting the medical together, let alone talking about a lot of different things that help a case move along.
Crazy.
So-
absolutely crazy.
It is critically important to be smart about these things, and that's the whole point. Now let's talk about. Give me a playbook. If someone believes they're disabled, what steps do they take? What's the first thing that they do? Do they call you? Do they go to the doctor? They've been injured. They think they have a disability. They've gone to a doctor. They know they have a problem. what should they do? Do they call you and you tell them what to do? Is that the first step, or what are the steps?
First of all, it's for everything, whether you have physical problems, whether you have psychological, whether you have systemic, whether it's related to an incident, or you're born with it, a disease, everything. It covers everything here. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to be treating with a doctor. I'm not going to take a case if you haven't been treating. No one's going to take a case. You have to have legitimate problems to begin with. So it all stems from people treating with their doctors and then being unable to work because of these horrible problems. So by the time they call me, they've been seeing their doctors and they've had discussions with their doctors. Doctors said, look, either this is going to be a lifetime thing or you're not going to be able to work at least for a long time. This is a long-standing problem. So the first thing is getting medical help. That's before anything else. And then come see me afterwards. That's what's critical though, is treating with your doctor.
They call you up, schedule an appointment, come in, you go over, you talk to them on the phone initially, give them guidance of what they need to do?
Correct.
Okay. So then let's assume that you hear from them, it sounds like they're on a path where they're going to need a disability claim. What do you tell them to do? What's the next step? Finish treating with the doctor, get a doctor's report. What are the steps?
Well, ideally, they're never finished treating, especially if long-standing problems. So they will. I have a list of things that I'll need, information, because I do everything from the beginning to the end. There's some attorneys that won't handle most aspects of a claim. I handle every aspect of a claim. So I have a whole list of 20-ish questions, or so I know what's needed to start a claim.
So you go through that process with them, and then you're kind of giving them a to-do list of things, of homework that they have to do.
To get me, but it's information that they need to get to me, and then I can run with their case.
And then at that point, you compile the information and file the claim?
Correct.
Or do you sometimes wait to get the claim in a better position before it's filed?
Well, a better position is when they've been off of work for about 6 months or so, because that gives me the best opportunity to be successful in the quickest amount of time. Because for Social Security, you either have to be unable to work for 12 months or longer, or when they look at your case and it hasn't been 12 months, let's say it's been 7 months that you've been off of work, Social Security has to be convinced that you've been disabled for those 7 months and convinced that the duration of your disability will last another 5 months, so that the disability period will be 12 months or longer.
So even you go through that, then you still are going to have the potential for the denial, the reconsideration, the appeal, the ALJ hearing, and all the rest.
Yes.
Let's take a break. We'll talk about how do you deal with the debt issue that people have when they're disabled.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
So last question. How old should your granddaughter be before she gets to spend the inheritance all on her own?
Thanks, Grandma. Ciao.
Yeah, thanks, Grandma.
35! You've worked hard your whole life to create a lasting legacy for your heirs. Let Simasko Law help you make the right decisions to protect the ones you love. Simasko Law, protecting what means most, because that's what we do.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. I want to announce Thav Gross has opened a new office downriver in the Horizon building on Eureka Road. So now we're in Flint, downriver, and also our home office in Bingham Farms. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation. You can do it by Zoom conference, in the office, any way that works best for you. Just call 888-235-HELP or go to the website, thavgross.com, to sign up. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business law issues, elder law issues with Pat or Kelsey, disability issues with Jeff Kirschner. Again, sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or just call 888-235-HELP. Also, if you go to the website, you'll see there's free reports. Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by Jeff Linden and myself. Bankruptcy, Is It Right for Me by Brian Small. How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure. Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan. And The Retiree's Guide to Social Security by Pat Simasko. I want to thank our sponsors, Thav Gross, Simasko Law, Kirschner Law. Now back to the show.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Okay, we're back. So, what do we accomplish? We know the steps to take if you have a disability claim. We've made the point that logic dictates that you should engage an attorney to do this if you want to enhance your chances of success.
No, clearly you should just engage Jeffrey Kirschner.
But one of the things...
Clearly.
Thanks. One of the things that's important here is that if you're disabled, oftentimes there's a financial crisis going on as well because you're off work, you're losing that income, whatever savings you have gets exhausted, you end up dealing with a debt problem. So how, in most cases when you see people come in, are they in a debt financial crisis as a result added to the fact that they're disabled?
They either are or will be, especially when this takes as long as it takes and you're getting no income because you can't work. So inevitably, 98% of my clients at some point in time are going to face that issue because of a time lag of not having any income.
So let's throw out the first hypothetical. I'm disabled, I've got money in my IRA, I've got money in my 401k, I have available credit card debt, or I have available credit on my credit cards. I don't like using my credit cards. Should I tap my 401k and borrow against it to cover my expenses while disabled so that I don't get into credit card debt?
So
Brian?
let me tell you what the biggest mistake is. The biggest mistake is utilizing funds that no creditor could ever attach or get to through a garnishment or other means. Okay, so your IRA and your 401k are protected. They have something called an anti-alienation clause in them, and I don't care how much money you owe anybody other than the IRS, they can never get into the IRA or 401k.
So therefore you're saying don't use those monies.
I would never recommend that people tap through their 401k or IRA to sustain themselves while they're waiting for Social Security disability to be approved.
If you have cash in the bank, not Social Security, not your IRA or 401k, you have cash in the bank, you've got $50,000 of cash reserves, and you also have $200,000 of available credit card debt. Should you use the $50,000 of cash reserves first and then go to the credit, then potentially use the credit cards? Or should you use the credit cards first?
It's an interesting question. There's only so much assets you can protect in a bankruptcy situation. And if you have a whole bunch of credit card debt and you're looking to file bankruptcy and you're waiting on a Social Security award, that $50,000 may get sacrificed to a trustee, but there are some ways we can protect it through something called exemption planning, where we can, which
So if
is
you're gonna
a
do
questionable
if you're going to do exemption planning, would that say don't be that quick to spend the cash for
again,
expenses?
that's 100% correct.
Let me give you the third one. If you've got available equity in your home, should you tap your HELOC or should you tap the credit cards?
Interesting question. How do you own your home? Do you own your home as husband and wife, or as a married couple?
Let's assume yes.
So in a Chapter 7 situation where there's no joint debt, meaning that all of the credit card debt and all of the other loans, et cetera, are in one person's name or the other person's name, I can protect all of the equity in the home and let you get rid of your credit card debt and all those loans.
Here's my point. If you're in the unfortunate situation, and I'm saying that seriously, that you have encountered a disability and you're now unable to work and you're facing financial stress and you have limited resources available to you, the normal person's inclination is going to probably go directly against the smartest decision.
Yep. The normal one is spend your savings
spend the
and
cash,
don't get into debt.
Take the IRA and the 401k first. And that's the last thing you want to do. You want to preserve your assets on the long-term play, and you have to be practical in looking at it to saying, is bankruptcy going to be on the horizon given the circumstance I'm in? And if that's the case, you need to plan for it. It's not tomorrow, but it's on the horizon.
One other thing, dealing with Social Security and debt resolution, is, you'll agree with me, it's critical if you're going through this stage and you see bankruptcy on the horizon. Before I am successful in getting you benefits and all this past due benefit, they should contact Brian in your office about the bankruptcy. And why is that, Brian?
Well, because you can protect the right to receive the benefit, but if you've already received it, it's not.
Then it's cash.
Then it's cash.
So
and
the
it
past
doesn't
due-
have the same protections.
So the past due benefit that we talked about, we've been waiting for a while, $20,000, $30,000, $80,000 of past due benefits. If the file for bankruptcy
case.
before we finalize our case and be successful, we can protect all that money. True?
Yep, 100%.
Bottom line, just like you need to plan the filing and the process and go through the disability claim, you need to plan and deal with your finances in the same manner. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.
Thank you.